Ah, weak. Well, at least the beer's cold. Cheers to those of you that have your beers. Hi, I'm Justin. Thanks again for watching my channel. Welcome back. Today we're going to take a jump onto the gear wrench truck. Take a look and see if he has anything new. Most of the stuff's probably going to look the same, so we'll keep it as short as we possibly can. I saw a couple of interesting things, and I picked a couple things up that we're going to talk about after we get a chance to check out what he's got on the truck. What's new? What's cool?
Home kit.
Oh yeah, we've seen that before. Looking for the new goodies up in here now.
New goodies?
New goodies.
No goodies.
The nougaty nougats.
Look, R2D2.
Oh yeah, I seen one of those at the depot. I was like, what the hell? It's like it stands up as tall as this truck and it like splays out like a giant satellite.
It does.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you if you had the 1/2 inch to 3/8 super long transmission extension.
I do. Yes, I do. 1/2 inch drive, 3/8 on the end.
And the other question I had was, did you have those little tiny, you know, like for the high side and low side pressure caps that screw on? Do you have those special sockets for those?
Right above your head here.
Blinded by the what the fuck? Maybe.
Yeah, those are them.
Why is there?
They are.
My cat has like 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah, we only ever use the one.
No.
I think that there might be 3 different ones.
There is.
Neil asked me, but it turned out like only the 2 were ever used. So
Yeah, we only
These 2 are the only 2 that are really ever used?
G and shit, all that.
those are the only 2 that I sold in the last few years.
Alright, so those are pretty much the go-to sockets for the AC jobby jobs.
You being Justin Guy will be like, I need the fucking other one. And I'll be like, well.
Nah, if you say this is high and low side pressure caps and those are the only ones ever freaking used on R134, I'm good. Well, they have them on the low side too. I seen earlier
The
today.
ones that are retrofit.
Oh, did my son of a bitch fucking monster thing come in yet or not? Not yet.
No, let's take that one so that it can be done.
I'm not worried about it. You said you needed a set. I decided I'd wait a few weeks. But I was going to ask you again later, you know, after.
That looks like a misorder.
Spare parts.
No, I just sent in a bunch of stuff that I was like, hey, what's this?
Hey, so you know how they make this super freaking ingenious 10mm set? Do they do that with 8mm? Because
Yes,
I
they do.
almost lost my 8 the other day.
Yes, they do in 1/4 inch drive only. I just
Yeah.
ordered one today for John at John's Garage.
The magnetic ones?
No, well, like
Just
you know how like it's got the whole thing,
Oh, yeah,
every
yeah.
10 you could ever need. Well, what happens when you lose an 8? And I was just wondering if you ever did that too.
Yes, they do. 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, and 15, I believe.
What's in this super awesome? Oh, drill bits. Master Series and
replacement.
taps. What do you think about these gear wrench screwdrivers as well?
Your
Yeah.
extractor that big, dude.
Yeah. That's for the alignment.
Shut your mouth.
Don't go broke. That's fitting. But it's a large. Oh, okay. My bad. I thought you were going to show me something that says like snap on the back or some fucking bullshit. Oh, fuck.
Your shit's out there.
I know. That's what I do. Oh, those things are cool. If you guys haven't got those
Like
clippers
these?
are awesome. Yeah, yeah.
I just so good
I
at
do.
it.
I think I
have the
gave
90s.
away the 90 set that I had, but I did keep the straight ones.
I have the 90s.
What else? What else have we missed or didn't see that we saw before? Something I'm for sure thinking about and missing. I ain't worried about all that. $50 for that whole set. That's pretty freaking good. Don't need any wire strippers. Don't need any of those right now, but that's probably on the next list. Well, you heard it. Don't go broke. Go with gear wrench. I'm picking up a couple AC jobby job things for some of the little service ports. We'll kind of show, tell, and I'll put links down in the description for you if I can find them for you. And then we'll catch back up at the garage. I'll let you know how the day went. All right, so he had some pretty hilarious shirts. I thought that one was pretty fitting. And he's like, I could see it in his eyes, like, no, asshole. not because my truck's overpriced, because the Gear Wrench has the better price tools than any other tool brand right now. And to be honest, his prices are of some of the lowest prices between all the tool trucks that actually stop by. So we love having him come by. He's hooked it up with some pretty awesome stuff that I couldn't figure out or find anywhere else. But look, if I can find these specific sockets for you guys, I will put a link down in the description for you. One of these is going to be for the low side pressure line. So if it has a low side pressure cap with a check ball in it, this is going to be the socket for that. The other one's going to be for the high side pressure line. This is going to be a little bit more common, especially on GMC and Chevrolet. Most recently, we've actually had a Suburban that came in, a Tahoe, and a Sierra. In fact, my Sierra, I just went to find the Schrader valve kit just to show you guys what a little Schrader valve and check ball kit would look like if you were to buy it yourself, to fix it yourself, made by Santec from AutoZone. In this kit, you'll get a high side, low side pressure cap. You'll get 3 different Schrader valves. You'll get your pressure switch O-ring, and you'll get your high side pressure valve cap with the little check ball on the inside. You can see it's threaded, but then at the top, you can see it's got its own specific design. So when I looked at the socket after pulling it out, I was like, oh, okay, so it's an 8-point socket. That's kind of interesting, but it's, I think, also maybe specifically designed for the high side pressure valve. I might be wrong, but look, 8-point socket made by MASTERCOOL. This is specifically for this tool and function. Some of you are going to say, why can't I just use a wrench or a crescent wrench? You will round the shit out of it. These corners are not sharp. All these corners on this little tiny soft aluminum valve are rounded already. So it has to be a specific bite and grip when it comes to a socket. Now, I didn't have these before. My boss actually had a 3-piece set. I'm not sure who makes it. There is no name on them specifically, but he has 3 different sizes. I think a while back there were 2 different styles of either low side or high side pressure caps, but the 2 most common ones you're going to run into is going to be the more medium size for the low side pressure, and then the high side pressure one. These are the 2 we use the most. This one does not get used as much, but I'm sure he's used it before, because I do see a little bit of, you know, grease and pag oil down in there. But these 2, most definitely all the time, you can tell that we use them because I use them all the time. So I figured I would pick this setup and share it with you guys. All right, so talking about some of the differences between the ones that I just picked up that were made by MASTERCOOL and some of these older ones, I'm not sure who makes them, but the actual depth of the socket is a little bit more than the ones that he has. And on the inside, there's more of a flute than the other socket that he has. And I believe the broaching, the part where they actually cut into the different sides of the angles of the hex itself, it actually looks really nice, and it looks like it's made out of some pretty good quality metal. The fitment with the MASTERCOOL socket actually does seem like it has a little bit of extra play in it, but it does fit rather nicely, and I was able to take one of them off of this Tahoe I was working on earlier, shortly after Jeff, our gear wrench guy, left. I plugged and played just to see how it would work out. The one that my boss had, a little bit more of a tighter, snug fit, but what I did notice with his is that when you go to either tighten it or loosen it, you kind of gotta wiggle the ratchet back and forth to get it to pop back off. It's like it bites in and then it stays bit, so it's a little bit more of a pain in the butt. This one, when tightening or loosening, because there's just that little bit of extra slop or give, no problem there with the socket sticking. So overall, I thought pretty good little pickup for the price. I think it was like 16 or 18 for one and 18 or 20 for the other. Nice little pickup. Like I said, I'll put it down in the description for you guys. And one more little thing that we'll end on today's note, just a little miniature parts rant. It just seemed like I was getting the wrong parts all day today, and I don't know what it is, but I'm pretty sure 90% of the parts that were incorrect came from Napa, and the one part that was incorrect actually came from the Ford dealer themselves. They must have typed it in wrong, so now we have to wait another day before I can get the actual pieces that I need in order to continue mission with the Ford 6-liter. So That's been on a standby now for a couple days waiting for parts, so that's just all kinds of awesome. Don't you love it when you got a big project that you want to get wrapped up so you can just move on and not have to stress about where things go or how upset the customer is going to be, and it all comes down to just the misfortune of getting the incorrect parts or the incorrect size parts. Don't even get me started with the sizing. Some of the sizing, when you need something that's like this big and it comes to you that's this big and you're like, what the heck? And you're sitting there trying to figure it out and you're like, there's no way that this is gonna fit. They're like, that's what the book shows. I'm like, pull it back up. Okay, order it from somebody else. I order from somebody else. Oh, lo and behold, way different size. So that's my mini little rant for the end of the evening. Thanks as always for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, give it a thumbs down. Share if you want to share. We'll see you guys next time. Deuces.